I'm surprised that you haven't been more active on the ladder when you have both like Blackburn, Beckett, and Pride of Altaris.
Yeah, I don't think ZvP. I got nothing like.
Is there any matchup you do like? Playing, I mean.
ZvT can be pretty fun.
ZvT?
Yeah.
True, true.
Which Beckett and Blackburn are really bad for the server. So there's your answer. I just thought of one. But anyway, getting into the game, spawning in the top right position. He is en route. It is your red Zerg. It is Kazmir.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Peruvian Protoss. He is blue, representing Roots Gaming, as well as ex-CJ Enter's hero himself. It is INFANSON.
I was slightly worried if I had to introduce INFANSON. It is marooned and INFANSON pops up on this.
I mean, you referred to Jim Rising as a barcode earlier. Like, are you okay?
He is a barcode. That's his game day. That's it.
Jesus.
There we do see pro block at the natural for INFANSON. Do you think he can? It's quite a large map we're playing on, 2000 Atmospheres. Do you think he's kind of planning on maybe doing something with a bit of a depth pressure, or just trying to be annoying? Like
that's a good question. Like, I've seen INFANSON try and thrive in like late game ZvP with like sky toss openings with mixed success. If you recall, the last time we casted him, I believe he was up against Ryu, if you remember, and in that series INFANSON was able to find a lot more success with like ground toss and like early like glaive adept timings or like blink stalker follow-ups. But at the same time, I do have to admit that Kazmir isn't necessarily a player of the caliber of Ryu, so, you know, INFANSON, he can do whatever he wants.
That's right, Ryu is very good at Street Fighter. We're not sure how good Kazmir is at Street Fighter, which is the defining point of this argument, and I think, yeah, pretty standard. You have to check if he goes to Chrono Boost's Gateway when the Cybercore finishes. There is no Overlord at the moment being able to see this, so Kazmir's not going to be able to see if the Cybercore is Chrono Boosting. So not my apologies. If the Gateway is Chrono Boosting and if that Warp Gate got delayed. So slightly in the dark here.
Yeah, slightly, as the Overlord is finally about to rock up. We do see it is not a Stargate opening. We do have the Twilight Council on the way here. Fun fact, earlier today, Marooned, or INFANSON, did try and go Glaive Adepts against Jim, and it was kind of awkward, honestly. He went Glaive Adepts, but without a War Prism, and he only made 4 Adepts and went straight into Blink from there. It was a little bit wonky, a little bit lopsided, and it did fall as a result.
I did see Pez pull something similar in ANZ Champs early this season, so it's good to see Protoss. I will admit, I really have to respect Protoss who are trying to get stuff done that's out of the meta. As we both know, Stargates and Voidways are pretty prevalent in ZvP at the moment, so it's great to see creative builds. And as you said, INFANSON is a bit of a, he likes his ground play a little bit more of the air play. I think yeah, it'd be awesome to see what he pulls out here.
Yeah, exactly. As we do see Glaives on the way. Thankfully for Kazmir, he is able to scout this. Unfortunately, there was no Stalker or anything to deny said scout. So Kazmir is well aware of the potential of Glaive Adepts coming his way. Now it's on him to respect this and respond. At the moment, we don't see a Roach Warren yet. We should be seeing one soon. As, yeah, there it is. It's thrown down here in the main.
Yeah, this is going to be quite a tight timing with that Roach Warren. Maybe I'd say, depending on what goes on here, it could be slightly late when those roaches finish, especially with how those the natural did get blocked, so it's going to want to come out front and center. Maybe spread these overlords just slightly so you can see what direction the adepts come from. As you see, as they are heading towards that 12 o'clock base right now, so it looks like he could be just taking a third base and putting some pressure behind it.
Yeah, it looks to be the case here. There we go, he is setting himself up with a pylon, but the Adepts are still a bit of a threat. What's interesting about this Adept push, by the way, is that it is only 3 gateways, as opposed to the more standard 4, so it is a lot more economical as the third base does get thrown down. It does mean that INFANSON isn't going to necessarily overcommit to these Adepts.
Yeah, That's right. We do have a good number of Zerglings here already. Going to get the shade off. But, ooh, great surround by Kazmir, and he's going to pick off a couple of Adepts before they teleport into the natural, right into the jaws of these waiting roaches. And
yeah.
I think that's just it.
Exactly, it's just far too much here. All the Adepts are going to be cleaned up, and they didn't get any economic damage done. We do have another wave headed towards the third base, but mate, we have a Spine Crawler already set up. Kazmir, he's barely, I think he lost one drone.
This is some pretty poggers play here by our American... Wait, do I say North American? Because American's pretty weird, yeah, but... Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But again, you know, damage is good. Definitely want to get some damage done, but it's not the end of the world because we have a third base at home for INFANSON, so...
Yeah, and thankfully for INFANSON, Kazmir isn't following up with a big like roach push from here. Honestly, I feel like he probably could have. These Lings alone aren't gonna do too much. He does pick up a couple of Adepts, which are nice, but the shield battery does finish up. INFANSON does hold on to this third base, and there is that follow-up. He is going into Immortals as well as Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, meanwhile on the other side of the map, Kazmir's just playing pretty passive. He sent out 13 drones and started the lair and some extra gases, so maybe expect to see him take a third base here once he can kind of confirm that INFANSON is probing that third base. So once he sees that going, I expect we'll go into a bit of a later game here, and I think yeah, pretty chill.
Yeah, I'm concerned by the timing of the fourth base. The fact that we still don't see one is a little bit concerning. Hopefully we do get one soon here, as again, Kazmir is playing, you put it very well, very passively. Hydrogen gets thrown down. Interesting, as I'm sure he would eventually want to get into lurkers. But INFANSON, he's slowly catching up when it comes to the worker count, when it comes to the bases.
Yeah, I do have to say he's probing that third base a little bit late. I'm not sure if that's because he wanted to prioritize getting these gateways out in case of a counterattack, because he's not scared of the fourth base, or it's just he's slipping a little bit on his macros. So we do eventually have the fourth base by Kazmir coming down now and some upgrades. Although I think it's starting to look quite good for the Zerg player, I'd say, in this regard.
Yeah, I mean, all the upgrades are on the way here, and I think the big thing that's missing from INFANSON that I would expect someone like Pez to have gone into from here is, sure, you get a couple of Immortals for the Roach, like, counterattack, and then you go into, say, Disruptors, right, immediately afterwards, so you do have a better answer to whatever ground-based Zerg army is coming out. At the moment, we don't see any of that here from INFANSON, which is a little bit worrisome, as, the Lings actually slip into the main base.
This is a great Ling buy. It's going to get some probe skills, see the infrastructure. This is great. In the meantime, INFANSON also moving out. There's a reason he has skipped probes on his third base. He's going for a killing push here, because Kazmir has also a couple of drones, but it looks like he's going to get through this choke point. Those force fields are going to give him even more of an advantage.
Yeah, that it is. We do have more Hydrogen Lings on the way, but they're still in production so far. INFANSON is trading beautifully here, pushing in towards the third base. The Spine is actually helping out a little bit as well, but I don't know if there's enough Zerg.
That's right. Looks like he's going to lose this position here. Big problem is these drones did not manage to get away to the fourth base, so he's going to feel pressure to push in again here, and that is a lot of Hydras. Like, looks like he's might... I think there's just too much Zerg now. He's going to be able to repel in here.
Yeah, exactly. It just barely is enough. Something that I'm surprised by the way, is that the third base somehow survived. I was like, it's got to go down, right? No, never mind. We ran out of sentries. We ran out of force fields.
And that's right. And very good play here by Kazmir. He did not drone up to 66 drones straight away. He stopped at about 54, 55, which is where INFANSON was as well, so he managed to anticipate the push. As we see, only 9 probes in INFANSON's natural, no gas is taken, so pretty well done there by that regard.
Yeah, definitely. What I will say is that INFANSON has so far kept his Immortals alive throughout all of this. They still keep them alive, but for how much longer here as INFANSON, Kazmir just keeps on pushing forward. Overcharge does get popped, and INFANSON does hold on to his third.
Super battery. That's all you have to say, like, you made a super battery. And the fight was over. Yeah,
the Zerg bias is coming out, mate. It's
Yeah, he did manage. He had some force fields and those sentries still, so very hard to go in and snipe that super battery. So decent defense there by Fanzon, and now looks like he's going to be committing to this push, but making probes at home. Maybe he's trying to force out units while it equals the economic discrepancy.
Yeah, what I will say is that we do have a couple of extra sentries here as well. Force fields were okay, not the best, and a couple of these sentries are being exposed. They're getting picked off one after the other. Kazmir finding more ground.
Yeah, that's right. Looks like he's trying to trade here, and Zerg's just pumping out units while in the meantime, Kazmir is just making probes, but he's not taking those gases at his third base. He's kind of
Oh god, no!
extending here maybe a bit.
Oh my god, that was so close there with that Immortal. I think you touched on something there, and that's the fact that what does INFANSON have behind this? He's not taking up, right? There's no disruptors, nothing else other than this Gateway army and these couple of Immortals. I do feel like he's tunnel visioning a little bit here. Meanwhile, the Hydras, they push on forward. The buffer is slowly being evaporated here from the side of INFANSON. He barely has anything left.
That's right, and those upgrades on those Hydras are shredding this Protoss army. Gateway units not known for trading the greatest against Hydras, and it just kind of shows it looks like that Kazmir's going to, push the point here. He's getting his Hydra speed back at home. He's just rallying units, Lings and Roaches, and it looks like he wants to go for the kill here.
Yeah, exactly. And what is really going to stop him? We don't have Charge, we don't have Zealots. We were talking about Gateway units. Wait, Zealots, they can be pretty good in a scenario like this, but they're nowhere to be found. It's just Stalkers, and oh my god, he's getting surrounded as well.
Oh man, even Biling, the only possible retreat point here. Really great engagement by Kazmir, Queen chilling as well, and that is GG. Kazmir will take game 1.
Oh my god, GG, well played. And I've seen this twice already, where INFANSON he opens up with like Glaive Adepts, and they just don't really do much.
Yeah. It's a bit of a small commitment with the Glaive Adepts, but it is a commitment nonetheless. So you definitely want to get more damage there. Did force out quite a few units, but left him a little bit open to a counter-attack. And he did lose map control. When you don't open with that Void Ray, which is the meta at the moment, he does have a bit of trouble kind of, being able to control the Zerg. At that point, it was just, Kazmir just played really well. And,
Yeah, exactly. Kazmir popping off here in game 1, but it was just game 1. Again, this is a best of 5. We have at least 2 more maps ahead of us. Plenty of opportunity for INFANSON to fight back and make a series out of this.
I agree, Light, and I'd like you to tell me why he can fight back and make a series out of this if he gets 2 maps.
Oh my god! Again, like we've seen him go Glaive for these Glaive Adept openings. I hope we don't see that too often. Like again, we've seen him do more than that, right? He's no one-trick pony. He can go into that Sky Toss if he wishes. He can commit even further into those Glaive Adepts again for throw down a couple extra gateways, right? Or even go for a charge or all-ins. Like there's a decent amount that Protoss can do. They've got them tools, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like even if you play it unpredictably, there is a degree of predictability. Hear me out. I know it sounds crazy, but like your opponent, they could be doing anything. They're not going to normally stay to one certain play style. You got to touch all bases, be on top of your scouting. So I think it's definitely something Kazmir will have to look out going into the rest of the series.
Definitely. That's why scouting is oh so important in this matchup. Looking at you, Starduck. Looking at you.
Scout the internet router, man. I was so sad last night.
I was so heartbroken. I was so heartbroken when that happened.
I was feeling for him, but not all way. Even as I was talking to Zero after the game, he says he felt really bad. It's not a way you want to win a champ series. I tried, like I said, the Chad move would be Azura. You should forfeit yourself. Give Stark the win. But not that nice.
Oh god! What happened, mate? By the way, I saw you in the chat. You were trying to work on those internet lines, and mate, what happened?
Well, Hut wanted to play Rocket League. That's just like, I was meant to put the fluke decal for game 3. And Hut forgot to stop searching. I'm playing a competitive game. So mid-game I had to open up StarCraft, put the decal in, and apparently I hit do not save instead of accept. So that's why it popped up the game 4. But yeah, the fluke decal got there in the end.
Shaking my head, mate. Shaking my head.
My priorities, man.
Oh god. What even Rocket League? It's like
It's like car soccer.
it's like football, right? Wait, what? Soccer?
Oh, football,
What?
yes.
Wait, what? I thought you were like a Manchester United fan or something, right?
Oh no, that's hot.
That's hot.
I'm an Arsenal fan, unfortunately.
Liverpool.
You're the I'm ending this call. How dare you? For context for those guys, Liverpool won 4-0 last night versus Arsenal. Oh. Just in case you're like, what are these football kids talking about?
No, I'm with you in the chat. I don't know I didn't even know what I just said. I don't watch football.
Okay. You said Liverpool, and it turns out Liverpool beat Arsenal last night.
There you go.
You're a prophet. Oh my lord. But anyway, getting into game number 2, I believe. On Blackburn LE, spawning in the bottom right position. Wait, I just gotta check. Okay, Cameron's there too. Okay, good. Oh no, wait, that's the wrong person. Yes, it is. It is Kazmir.
Oh boy. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Chase's favorite map, Blackburn LE, we have the Peruvian Protoss player. He is blue, representing Root Gaming. It is INFANSON.
Sorry, I didn't know there was other observers in this game, so I was like... oh man, this lad looking...
Oh my god.
Another probe denying the natural.
Yeah. Again, INFANSON doing a good job at being a little bit annoying here. I say that though, he did force... I don't know if he forced it or Kazmir just went for it himself. Went for a very aggressive opener with a pull and gas.
Very flexible opener. Can be aggressive, can be, you know, just standard. One thing for sure is he's going to... Oh! He's just going to take the... He's going to go for the gold base here?
Oh, wait.
Gold base?
Okay. So he's going for the triangular third here. Unfortunately, not the gold. Bit of a feels bad, man. INFANSON is going to check it, though.
Yeah, even INFANSON thought he was going to take the gold there, but... Still not seeing the natural down. The alarm bell should be going off, but he should eventually scout that third base. Forward third base. What do you think, Clyde? I think definitely better if you want to go for a queen walk, but as we've seen from INFANSON's playstyle, not sure if he's going to go for that Stargate anyway.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the probe was trying to get into the main base, but it was denied by these Lings, and it is denied because we do not have Ling speed on the way. We have a very fast Roach Warren.
Yeah, this is looking like a... Could just be like a 19 drone Ling Ravager all in. We've got 2 Zealots and double Adept. This is very defensive by our Protoss player here. Oh
yeah, and INFANSON took this very seriously, especially because it took him a long time to actually scout the natural base, which by the way he still hasn't seen. He hasn't seen that third, so oh boy.
Oh, I see it now. Unless that probe goes into that slow zone.
Oh no, not the slow zone, puppy, please!
That's slow speed chase.
It's okay, the Lings also went into the slow zone, so it's fine.
He's gonna scout the third best now, and that queen. I think, are we gonna see an inject? Looks like it will be an inject here, and we do see Zergs. As you see, there is no queen in the main base for Kazmir. He's brought the queen down to the natural because he wants to get that inject so it lings out across the map faster, but Kazmir is being aggressive here himself. How's this going to work out, right?
I mean, I love this, right? He's utilizing his Zealots as best he can. He already shaved off a decent amount of Lings. His 3 Lings have already gone down. And he also confirms these Roaches. So with this aggression, he was able to scout what his opponent was doing. He can prepare at home. Shield battery is already on the way. He just needs to slow this down a little bit, buy a little bit of time. Adepts do shade across the map to stop reinforcements and get this shield battery up and running.
That's right. We do only have 1 Ravager. It's a little bit late, because it was chasing a Adept a little bit, but I think need a little bit more to kind of push through, but it looks like he's going to be able to push through anyway before the shield batteries finish.
Yeah, exactly. Shield battery just barely finishes up. Overcharge is used. Oh, can the Stalker survive? Does take a ball to the face. Boys are being pulled, and the Adepts do come back home.
Yeah, and without this Ling support, I think with the probes, the Super and the Stalkers, I think INFANSON's going to be able to hold this.
Oh yeah, just barely. The shield battery survives. We have an extra warp in. GG gets called, and INFANSON fights back.
There we go. 1-1. on the worst map in the map pool. I think that was kind of it was weird, right? Because INFANSON's response was because he couldn't scout a natural.
Yeah.
Which Kazmir built anyway. But then because he was playing so safe, he managed to hold the follow-up all in. So
yeah.
kind of a wacky game there. A bit of ZvP in a nutshell. Mind games, less mechanical than ZvT, apologies. So yeah, wacky game.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot going on there, I feel, mentally as well. And yeah, it was great to see like INFANSON be able to put a point on the board. Meanwhile, Kazmir, didn't make the gold. Shake my head.
No, didn't take behind the gold. That was the big issue.
So I wanted to ask you about that, right? Because obviously you have the biggest brain in all of ANZ, right? I mean, period.
Yes.
Let alone StarCraft.
Keep going. My brain's getting bigger.
Oh god. But what was going through your mind when you decided to go for that? By the way, like, what was happening in the land of chase?
Well, when you're playing Mio, right?
Yeah.
Everything you think he's gonna do, he's not gonna do. You scout something, he's gonna play standard. Like if you scout a fast roach borer, he's gonna make a couple extra drones and then all in you when you think he's transitioning to standard. I just wanted to not make sense so that Mio couldn't make sense of my lack of sense. And, yeah.
And in the end, you just didn't make sense.
I couldn't make sense of my own sense. That was the problem. Yeah.
Oh god.
Thanks for coming to my nonsensical TED talk.
Yeah. I remember you saying that you were hoping that Mio Micah took the gold base, right? So you could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put a spine behind the gold.
Yeah.
And then wing flood. Yeah, that's what. Like, you can make more sense of what I'm doing than myself. Okay? If you had my mechanics, you'd be Mio level for sure.
Mate.
That brain.
You think my mechanics aren't good? What are you talking about, mate? Let's go. Let's go.
Oh man, best of 69 show match.
Mr. Rocket League, man.
Okay. It's Mr. Rocket League weed man to you.
Oh god. As speaking of weebs, spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE. Oh, we have the American Zerg player. He is red, representing Roots Gaming. Going for a bit of a 13-12. My god, it is Kazmir.
And spawning in the top right position, it is our blue Protoss INFANSON.
Do you know where he's from?
He's from Peru, right?
Oh, yeah, you know, man.
Yeah! I was worried this question was going to come up. I remember always saying, did you know he's Peruvian?
Yeah, you know. So my question to you is, especially because, I have to take advantage of the fact that I have, again, a very smart player on my stream. I don't typically have them here. Funada Oreo, by the way. What do you think? What do you feel? What are your thoughts on 13-12 in a ZvP?
It's not very common. There was a point that it could sometimes catch your opponent off guard, but especially if you can disguise it more as like a 12-13, I guess, because that looks more like a 12 pull. As you see, he's chasing this Proto away. But I think with how the game is kind of stabilized and the metas materialize, I don't think it's that effective because Protoss, especially with a shield battery, even with the wall, the fast Oracle, it's just not too difficult to deal with as it used to be. So this is the kind of variation that can shake up things a bit. And Nidus swam off one base, and I think that it's basically what Kazmir wants to do is force a lot of commitment at the front, and then get a Nidus into the main base where there's less kind of buildings and batteries and so forth. So
yeah,
this will be interesting.
This is a bold move to do on Glittering Ashes, by the way, as well, because he does give INFANSON a long time to respond. INFANSON did also probe scout and actually saw the gas as well, so he's well aware of what the opener is, unaware of the follow-up, as you were saying, right, of the potential threat of a Nidus. What I'm concerned about, if you're talking about a Nidus into the main base, is that at the moment there isn't an Overlord in position. There's one on the way, But yeah, it's gonna take a while here. Kazmir banking a lot on the fact that again, INFANSON will have dead space in his main base and not see this coming.
Yeah, whoop. A little bit of lag here.
Yep.
Game paused.
So hopefully everything is okay. Massive shout out, and also Funada, our Portuguese caster Gustavo, as he was lagging a little bit there.
Yeah, internet. It's one of those things you can't help it, but
Yeah.
it's always rearing its ugly head. But I think this is a kind of tricky position for INFANSON here. He's got a sentry. Obviously, your first priority is to force field in case of a Bane Bust or kind of Ling Flood, but he doesn't really want to use that energy to scout, and that's where the advantage of this, the map control and being able to get a Laird and Nidus back at home is really pushing in. But this Stalker it's gonna poke away at this Overlord, and still we don't see an Overlord position at the main base.
Yeah, it's on the way. Don't get us wrong. The Nidus is about to finish up, so the timing may just hit. Meanwhile, ooh, this is huge. A hallucinated scout is going across the map. This will scout everything once it gets here. Meanwhile, the Overlord, oh god, it's barely in range, and there we have the Nidus.
Yeah, there we go. INFANSON, he's going to see what's up. He's going to see the one-base Slayer, but is he going to be able to react in time? The Lings are coming back home to go on that Nidus. Even the Queen should be filled in there. And I think this is looking pretty strong for Kazmir.
Yeah, exactly. The Lings are flooding on in. INFANSON took him far too long to scout this and realize what was going on. We do have a decent army here, but oh god, the probes are going down.
Yeah, as we see, this probe's being forced to go down to the natural. That ramp is providing a little bit of a choke point for the army of INFANSON, but it's just so many Lings, he's going to get around everything like.
Oh my god, he gets a full surround. The force field was a little bit too late. The control was not there. Everything falls, and there's nothing left. Only probes remaining, and a single adept.
Adept and a shield battery, but unfortunately there's not many probes that adept to defend, and it's just too many Lings. Looks like Kazmir is going to be taking game number 3.
Yeah, exactly, mate. You doubted the 13-12, but he knew what he was doing. GG gets called, and Kazmir takes the lead in this series.
That's right. Very creative play from our North American Zerg player there. I have seen this build going around on the YouTubes. I've seen Railgun kind of put up guides on how to execute it. So it's one of the builds that it was invented a couple of years back, but it was kind of a fringe build. It wasn't really a meta kind of all-in, because obviously, a one-base Nidus, if that becomes meta, it becomes really easy to stop. So great kind of work by Kazmir to work his magic and be able to kind of dictate that game to the terms that allows him to take the win. So,
oh yeah. Definitely. It's just great to see the variety coming out here from Kazmir, showing that he can also be the aggressor in 2 different ways, both on Glittering Ashes and Blackburn as well. So yeah, with that, he takes the lead, and now he only needs 1 more to move on to the next qualifying match.
Man, this seems fun. We have fun games doing this stuff, man.
What are you talking about, mate?
It's kind of like the worst case scenario for INFANSON, because he did eventually have the Phoenix, the hallucinated scout, but the Nidus kind of popped just as he scouted, and then he didn't have the force field energy, which probably wouldn't have helped that much in that regard, but it could have helped just a little bit, and the Lings just kind of overran the base, and that was it. So,
yeah.
rough game.
Definitely. At the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if INFANSON has never played against that as well. Like, as you said, it's a very fringe build. I can't imagine a lot of people are doing it on the ladder. Like, what are the chances that he's gone up against one-base Nidus before?
Quite low. Because no one plays Zerg anymore. I mean, the North American ladder, there's not many Zerg going around. I think it was it 50 something Zergs, but I think high level, it's kind of tough to, if you look at Grandmaster, oh wow, a lot of Terran and Protoss. So that's an advantage when you play these kind of styles, on top of the fact that there's not as many not as many players actively doing these things. So it was a good execution, and considering the circumstances, a solid win.
Yeah, definitely. Again, as you're saying, typically the NA ladder is all about Protoss nowadays. especially at the highest level of play. When it comes to Zergs, you know, we've had some come and go, you know, some fall to the wayside. You know, shaking my head, Panda Bear me, right? Panda Bear me, Silky as well. Jon Snow did come back recently, kind of, but he's not as active. But yeah, not as many Zergs.
I had a quick look at the Grandmaster ladder line. There was only 2 Zergs in the top 16, so start like my balanced narrative is better than yours at the moment. So. Anyway, I digress. Getting into game number, I believe this is game number 4, is it? Or 3, 4, 2? Yes. Okay. I'm used to having the graphics on the stream screen, you know. Spawning in the top left position, it is the North American Zerg with the cheeky builds. It is Kazmir.
You know, if you wanted to, you could update the score yourself as well. Just.
Oh, true. That requires hard work, though, you know.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Berlingrad ALE, we have the player who is currently up against the wall. One more loss, and he is out of this tournament. We have the Peruvian Protoss. He is blue, representing Root Gaming. It is INFANSON.
Oh, that zoom in. Yeah, pretty standard. The one, I can't believe this is actually, I guess, a thing now. The one thing, Kazmir, not Kazmir, my apologies. INFANSON, he did not kill the critter, so he's going for the animal, you know, animal-friendly build instead of as we saw from Pez last night, just killing the critter straight away. Yeah. So as you were casting, Frustration versus Pez, and the little robot did block the pylon from going down, then the depths get through, so I mean, it's a valid concern now.
It is. I've seen oh god, what else have I seen? I've seen natural bases blocked. I've seen I believe the cyber core has been blocked a couple of times on the low ground as well, when walling off as a Protoss in this matchup. So I think it happened to Starduck actually. So yeah,
they are pretty.
Yeah,
I can see why INFANSON wants to keep it.
The critters are a bit of a menace, you know. They're terrifying.
Actually, like, Zerg, I guess not as big as a problem for Zerg. I guess maybe they could block like an Evo wall or something. I don't know.
Man, I've had my natural hatchery blocked by a critter, mate. I'm dead with
really?
Yeah, on hardwire.
Oh man, that'd be frustrating. Is that from a pro block? Like it lets the pro kind of block the natural, or?
Yeah, as in like I go to make a hatchery and I just can't because it's just there. It's just there.
Cheeky, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of cheeky, standard game. Stargate. I guess it's cheeky for INFANSON, right?
There you go. For the first time this series, he is opening up with a Stargate, and there is nothing to stop this Overlord, so this would be scattered, but it doesn't matter because we should be seeing a Void Ray first anyway. My question to you though, Chase, you know, you're a big fan of like some of these smaller maps, right? Like your Blackburns and like your Becketts. But what are your thoughts on, you know, the new Beckett, right? Berlingrad.
Berlingrad. My brain was like, isn't this the biggest map? You're a cheeky one, right? You're very cheeky.
What?
I think this is a good. I like this from INFANSON, to be honest, because it's a very large map. The expand patterns are pretty uniform. And it's quite easy to split. We see there's choke points at certain places across the expansion patterns, and Skytoss is actually, as much as I pain to say it, because Skytoss is good in every map, Skytoss is definitely like very viable on this map. But it's very open for Zerg, which normally would favour the Zerg player, you know, get your flanks and your surrounds. But if you just build air units, you know, what can you surround?
Man, I never know like if you're trolling or not, mate. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
are you saying Skytoss isn't good on every map?
No. Like at the beginning, you said this is a big map. Mate, this is literally the smallest tileset map in the map pool.
Is it? I thought this was a huge map.
What are you talking about? It's huge.
Yeah,
Glittering Ashes is huge.
No, this map's huge.
What?
Like, you're trolling me.
What are you saying?
All I know is I always die to Skytoss on this map.
It takes like 2 screens to get across the map, not even like 1.5, mate. What are you talking about?
Oh, Yeah, but if you zoom in, it takes like
if
12
you zoom
screens,
in
mate.
though.
Like,
True.
I told you, I've been Starduck's got nothing on my balanced narrative, okay?
Oh my god.
Anyway, Void Ray at home. This is good for Kazmir. He's keeping tabs on the Void Ray. Making a lot of lings, this will be allowed to pressure the third base and freely drone back at home. Because, you know, the Void Ray can be quite difficult across the map, keeping tabs on it, sniping overlords and so forth, but if you're keeping it defensive, keeping it back at home, it's good for you.
Yeah, and what I will say is that I'm a little bit concerned when it comes to what Kazmir is going for. He's going to be going for an upgrade timing with Hydras. You know, +1 is on the way as well as the Hydra upgrades. And this can be very strong against Skytoss, especially against a player who rushes into, say, a Fleet Beacon as well. Protoss players can be quite vulnerable. But we see a Protoss player, again, just like switching hard, oh my god, into ground toss here with Charged Up Archon, and that is not what you want Hydras against.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, see, gas is being taken at the third base as well. Gonna go for a very strong switch here back into ground. Was it just the one Void Ray? Oh no, 3 Void Rays. So yeah, he's trying to deny the Scallion. See the patrolling patterns of the Protoss player here, and this is kind of a bait and switch here. And with, as you said, the Hydra kind of timing on the ground, this is gonna hit in time for. I think Charge is gonna finish in time, no?
Yeah, it will finish just in time, but how many charges will there be? Because of this hard switch and because of all these gateways, INFANSON doesn't have the best defensive position at his third base. He only has a single shield battery, and it's quite exposed at that. So again, his third is a little bit vulnerable. Hydras are on the way, upgrades are about to finish up. Kazmir is soon to pull the trigger. Is it going to be enough though?
Yeah, that's right. And we see, very sorry, INFANSON has stopped the probes at 60, where Kazmir has stopped at 54, so it's looking quite good for the Protoss. But he is moving out here, does not want to get his Archons caught, and the Void Rays coming into the third base slide.
Yeah, exactly. The Void Rays do hit that third base. Kazmir, is he going to respond to this, or is he just going to go for it? As the Void Rays are forced back, and Kazmir doesn't even care. He just pushes into the natural, where there's no stack defense at all. He can break through.
Yeah, there's no shield battery, there's no sentry even. It looks like we could have a bit of a weird base trace scenario on our hands here. Oh, what?
Let's go.
What's going on?
We're going for the base trade on apparently the largest map in the map pool according to Chase. So let's go. What I will say is that, again, a lot of the production still hasn't been touched here from either player, to be fair, but our Protoss player is not stopping. There's nothing stopping him from just diving straight into the main and just killing everything. And he can always recall.
Yeah, that's right as well. And as we see, there's no really like splash damage here to deal with these Zealots. I'm really favouring INFANSON in the space trade scenario. And, you know, the Hydras are Archon, they're in the main on the production. There's 32 probes here, just want to save those. But,
we do see the recall back into the main base. Is this going to be enough? The Zealots of SimCity is working against them. They can't really get their service area on these Hydras. The Hydrogen was sniped at home, and it looks like there is enough Protoss here to clean this up.
That's right, once that buffer of Lings was gone, you know, the Zealots kind of free reign these Hydras, only have 90 hit points. He's still rallying units across the map, but it's 2 base versus 2 base really, and that's never favors the Zerg, does it? Like,
no, not at all, especially when the Zerg player doesn't have tech. They only have a spawning pool. They can only make Lings to defend, and Lings against Zealots, that's not what you want to see, mate.
Yeah, that's right. What would you kind of... The thing is, it's very precarious for the Zerg player here, because I feel like he needs to do something, he needs to tech into something, but Protoss kind of... Their army is just so much brute force, it's very difficult to be able to tech to some sort of advantage and be able to hold whatever Protoss throws at you. So I think INFANSON's looking really good in this situation, even when taking his third base. But do you think there's any way that Kazmir can kind of get back into this game?
Nah.
Okay, Chase.
Oh god, nah, just answer you. But what I will say is that I mean, Kazmir put himself in this situation, right? Like, he wasn't able to go for a follow-up scout. He had no idea what his opponent was going for. He was just blindly going for this big Ling Hydra push, and unfortunately he was punished for it. We do see him throw down a Roach Warren, and again, he's pumping out roaches, and that will definitely help deal with the Zealots and the Archons, so I do like this. Also going for a bit of a counterattack, and Again, INFANSON is completely out of position to defend against it. When he doesn't care, he's just going across the map again.
Yeah, that's right. This link counterattack was a really good idea, but just back at home where the main fight kind of matters, he doesn't really seem to have enough to deal with this. Even the Void Ray is overcharging on the roaches. These links aren't going to get back, but GG, well played, this cold. INFANSON will take game number 4.
Oh, GG, well played. With that, again, because of INFANSON's position, we're going to the ace match. We're going for it. Game 5.
Indeed. No, let me see how big this map really is. How small it is.
What are you talking about?
Okay, which one was it? Curious Minds, you said was?
Oh my God. What? Glittering ashes! Glittering ashes, mate. Jesus.
Normally we just talk about like, yes, the game, we analyze it. I'm just like, nah, man, show me these map sizes.
Oh,
you're trying to hide it. You invited me to a lobby, so I can't.
What are you talking about? You've lost your mind.
I'm on to you.
Oh God.
This is what too much casting does to me. I have no idea how you do it. Like, you're superhuman.
Oh my God. Hold on. Because I'm getting to the bottom of this as well. As we're just getting set up for our ace match here, it is gonna be Pride of Altaris. Beautiful.
Ooh. Wait, is this the big map? No. I got this map confused with what's it called? This is the Skytoss map.
Yeah, it is.
Why did you invite me here again?
This looks nothing like Berlingrad. What are you talking about?
I mean, they both spawn the top left and the bottom right, right?
Oh my God.
They look kind of similar.
No.
I'm going to Funara myself because
oh God. Pride of Altaris does have the longest rush distance here among all the new
see?
maps. What do you mean see? What do you mean?
I told you they're similar.
No,
this is
not
the Big Mac.
How are they similar? This is not similar at all to Berlingrad.
They both spawn top left and bottom right. Okay.
My brain.
And this grass.
My brain is melting right now.
And there's minerals and gas geysers. Alright.
As we are diving into the ace match, game 5, people, here we go. The winner moves on to face Jim Rising. The loser gets knocked out of the tournament. And in the bottom right, we have our American Zerg representing Root Gaming. It is Kazmir.
And spawning the top left position on Pride of Altaris, he managed to bring it to the ace match. Can he go one further? It is also playing for Root Gaming and INFANSON.
That he is also rocking that CJ Hero portraits. I did hear murmurings in the chat that apparently Hero, he's a big fan of your stream.
What stream? Where's my live stream, by the way? I've been waiting.
What do you mean, where's your live stream?
In like 2 days, okay?
2 days? I've been casting ANZ champs. What do you want from me?
Doesn't count.
What do you mean that doesn't count?
Live stream. Unbelievable.
That is, of course, if you want to help support him, Chase, I believe Chase_SC2 on Twitch, right?
Yeah, I Funara'd myself, so you should be able to see it in the chat. It's okay. If anyone needs help, differentiating the maps or learning South American geography, let me know.
There you go. He's the master of it, mate.
Here we go again. Another natural block light. This is why I talk about being unpredictable can be predictable, is you kind of make the game state a little bit less predictable, but you know, Kazmir probably knew that he's going to do that pro block, and he can kind of predict the unpredictability. Correct?
What are you what are you on about? I mean, what I will say is that, you know, taking the unnatural natural has become pretty standard nowadays. This is the kind of sad reality of ZvP, right? I mean, you know this. You know, it's a luxury if you're ever able to take your regular second base here. And Kazmir just hasn't been able to do it this entire series.
That's right, and then kind of playing out of his comfort zone, but in that way, it is his comfort zone because he's used to not having his natural. There you go, Light. I'm destroying your brain right now.
Chase, you have a great way of just like saying a bunch of words, but actually not saying anything at the same time. God damn it.
Just be quiet. I'll just mute myself.
Yo, as we see something completely different here, Kazmir going for a hidden Bailey nest.
Oh, that's right. And on the other side of the spectrum, we do have a Twilight Cancel just about finishing up here by INFANSON. So Glaive Adepts again. How do you feel Bane Bust against Glaive Adepts with a Stalker in the wall?
That's a good question here. That's a very good question. I feel like the Ling Bane should be hitting first, right? We already have Ling production underway. Kazmir has already cut drones, and the Bane Nest is about to finish up. And the Adepts are still on the way. Unfortunately, because INFANSON hasn't seen any of this coming his way, like he doesn't know to throw down shield batteries. Like he is woefully unprepared.
Yeah, that's right. And this map probably not the best for Baneling busters for the same reason it's not the greatest for a 12 ball. Apart from the fact it's such a large map, that ramp is really hard to get good surface area on these buildings with. So he's really going to put all his eggs in one basket and break down this kind of these units in the wall. But I don't know if that's enough Banelings to kind of decisively get in there, and we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of eggs, here we go. The Banelings have finished up. We have 6 in total. They're going to be looking, 8 now, as 2 more on the way to bust through this Stalker. Meanwhile, INFANSON still has no idea. There's still no shield battery. Still only 1 pylon. Up. Links, get out of the way. Up.
Oh no.
And it took
Glaive just finishes.
Exactly, it took a while to break through into the natural base, but he got there anyway. But because Glaives has finished up, Lings are not what you want against these Adepts, despite not being too prepared. There's enough here.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any contingency plan. He just has to keep making Lings, keep maybe going for another Bane Bust, because he just doesn't have the economic kind of power to meet the demands that INFANSON's going to place on him. And as we see a couple more gateways going down, but I think this is just a hold.
Yeah, pretty much, especially with the shield battery on the way with all of these Adepts. He's going to be shading out. I doubt he's going to commit to the shade, but he will be able to scout all these things. Oh, he actually does commit here. There's a world where maybe he can get us around to the Baileys. He can find their connections on the Adepts. Up.
Oh, and look at these Adepts. Oh, they're very slippery. Can they shade before the Banes hit? Yes, they do manage to get home, and that is not a good trade for the Zerg player.
Yeah, exactly. INFANSON, he has done a GG, well played, good luck. INFANSON takes it.
Yeah, another wild game. Not something we normally see, and I guess in this case scenario, we can see why we don't normally see it, because it was a kind of a difficult map to execute on. INFANSON didn't have the scout, but he managed to hold it nonetheless. So good creative play by Kazmir. We did see he has been very creative through the series, so well played to him. But it looks like INFANSON will be taking on Jim for the next qualifying spot.
Oh, that he will. It's going to be a little bit of a rematch here. And the PVZs, they continue. INFANSON, I knew he could do it, but shout out to Kazmir because it went all the way to the ace match. I was very impressed with how he was able to perform here today and make it go all the way to game 5.
This is right, yeah. 5 game series are always fun, always back and forth. Keep you on on your toes. Who's gonna win? It's the closest possible result in a series. So I'm hoping again for another 5 game series for Jim and INFANSON. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it'll be good to see some Protoss representation as well for INFANSON if he does manage to trump Jim. So the Protoss dreams are still alive. Unfortunately, no Terrans.
I mean, no one cares about Terrans. It's fine.
I agree. We love you, Terran players.
Chase is just saying that. Don't worry, guys.
Damn it.
Oh god, as we are going to be getting ready for our next series. Again, a bit of a rematch. Jim Rising did honestly bop INFANSON at the start of the day today. So INFANSON, he has to try and kind of rethink his approach to how to take it to Jim. Because again, Jim, he's a very experienced player. He's been a pro player for many, many years. He's traveled the world. He's gone to America, lived in the root house for a while, been at the top of the NA ladder. And now he's
beaten me.
He's
which is
that notable? Was that?
Yeah, it's meant to be a tongue-in-cheek though.
No,
it's not notable. I think everyone's beaten you before.
Oh god!
Even you've beaten me, you know. So
I'll be honest, I don't remember that. I don't.
Was it a LAN? You took the game off me.
Did I?
Yep. I got a dartboard with your face, and I throw a dart at it every time.
God.
I think about it.
Oh my god. We need to have a rematch. Next BrizCraft, mate. Next BrizCraft. Let's go. Let's go. The loser has to pay for bubble tea.
Oh. Let's do it. Let's do it.